Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is going to absolutely demolish Battlefield 6 when it comes out, is how a lot of people seem to feel on the internet. And while I have those disagreements with them, I do think it's fair that we can talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. My name is D3Structive, and today we're going to be discussing my positives and negatives with the Battlefield 6 open beta that just ended this past weekend, as well as some potential drama and stirrings in the community about do we think Call of Duty or Battlefield is going to succeed, and why games aren't necessarily for everybody. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe and comment down below. This is a new style of format I'm trying. Let's dive right in. So I have been fortunate enough to play a bunch of the Battlefield 6 beta. Here is my game hours on screen, and all the gameplay shown here is going to be of my own recording. And I gotta be honest with you, I am incredibly blown away with how polished and good the game feels already. I mean, we were seeing record numbers broken on Steam alone. Mind you, this game is crossplay. At the time of recording this, there were over 500,000 concurrent players on just Steam. That does not account for numbers on PlayStation, on Xbox, Epic Games, or the EA app, and the servers ran like a dream. Now, before we get too far in the video, if you are wanting to play more Battlefield 6 before the October 10th release date, there is another open beta starting on August 14th, running through the 15th this coming weekend by the time you guys are seeing this video. So if you didn't get to play Battlefield 6 this past weekend, you'll have another opportunity coming up. Now, I want to go over the 3 pros I have for this game and the slight improvements I want to see. Let's start with the first pro. It's got to be the gunplay, which is arguably obviously the most important thing in an FPS game, but it feels different this time with Battlefield 6. First off, I absolutely love the amount of customization that the guns in the beta already had. It had me wanting more and more customization for the guns that are going to come out with the full release, so that gets an automatic thumbs up from me. In addition to the amount of customization that the guns already have, and I'm sure more guns will get this customization in the post-launch, I was also very impressed with how the guns felt in my hands. No one weapon, outside of the shotgun, felt super overpowered. It all felt very synergized with each other. I never felt like one attachment or one particular weapon made me feel better than any player in the lobby, but I did manage to find guns that I really enjoyed using as time went on. Now, I will say one of my favorite parts about the beta and what will happen on full launch is the class system coming back to Battlefield 6, right? More importantly, I do appreciate that while there are the classes in the game that give you different gadgets and different perks as you continue to get higher score in your specific match, you are able to use any weapon that you want in those classes. So if I'm even running recon, which I do like to do to put down insertion beacons, I can still run an assault rifle or a carbine, which are some of my favorite guns in the game. Now, let's go on to the second big piece that I like, which is going to tie right into this, that being the modes in the game. I'm glad to see once again Conquest is back. The maps that we got in the beta absolutely work with Conquest to a T. I also love Breakthrough. Those are the 2 game modes I primarily played, and Breakthrough is definitely my favorite of the modes just because I love the old school Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2 rush modes so much, and those were also in Battlefield 3. I love those game modes. Those are kind of like my bread and butter, and so to be able to play those regularly with having great map design and having modes that mattered and felt good and gritty was a very big W in my opinion. Now, one of the big modes that people have been talking about on the internet that was not in the open beta is, of course, the Battle Royale, which we will get to in a later portion of this video. But to recap, there is a Battle Royale coming to Battlefield 6. I'm not entirely sure when this is going to launch. When I have more information, I will dive it onto you on all my short form platforms. Make sure you guys follow me everywhere, D3Structive on all social medias. But there will be a Battle Royale mode that was not in this beta. I do not believe it will be in the August 14th to 15th beta, but we do have that to look forward to. Now, these maps and these modes were absolutely incredible. I did not get to play every single map a bunch. I mostly played Cairo a lot, if I'm being honest, which is a con that we will get to, but the maps felt different from each other. Each time I played one of the 3 maps in rotation, I felt like it was a unique experience every time, which is something that Battlefield thrives on. Battlefield in and of itself is a game that is not necessarily about racking up the highest score, but it's about telling a narrative every time you play. Each map is going to be different regardless of what mode you're playing, because the people you are not only playing with, but more importantly playing against, are going to have different strategies and ideas to help prevent you from completing your objective, which makes these games absolutely incredible when you pair that with the level of destruction that is in this game. In my entire tenure of playing Battlefield games, dating all the way back to Battlefield Bad Company 1, I have never, ever seen the level of destruction that Battlefield 6 is going to bring to the table. It puts Levolution in a little box with a toddler bib saying, "Go play with your rattle, the big boys are talking." That is how good the destruction in this game is. It cannot be put into words how excited I am for it. My third and final big pro for the beta has to be, and I cannot believe I'm doing this, a little bit of a glaze of EA and DICE, the server stability. I mentioned at the top of the episode that there were at one point over 500,000 people playing on just Steam alone. Those numbers do not reflect all the other platforms that this game is on, yet I've had no issues server-wide playing this game. The only small issues server-wide that we've had are occasionally as you're joining another game after your first one with the matchmaking cycle roll through, the game will occasionally freeze and you'll have to perform a quick restart. But even when you get back to the main lobby and you see the potential screen of saying there are X amount of players in front of you, it doesn't take more than a couple of seconds to jump right in. Heck, I don't think it lasted longer than 2 minutes waiting at those menus, and sometimes I was within 100,000 of the queue. The servers for an open beta of this magnitude needs to be studied because, for honest with you, a big reason that people didn't want to get into Battlefield 2042 was a lack of server stability, amongst other things. But to see that DICE and EA have really come together to make an incredible product so far makes me very excited for the future. Now, while I do believe that this beta is quite perfect, if I'm being honest with you, and that is hyperbolic, I will say there are some things I do want to see. First off, I want to see the shotgun get nerfed. It is a little bit overpowered, right? But in all hindsight, I'm more or less just excited to see new maps and modes and new guns and new attachments. I'm going to be honest with you, as somebody who has not owned a Battlefield game since Battlefield Hardline, remember that? Yeesh. I can't tell you how excited I am. I have been playing so much Delta Force lately, which, do not get me wrong, has been able to scratch that itch similar to what BattleBit Remastered was able to do for me. But to see a game with the Battlefield nameplate across it, with DICE and EA making it together, this has been an incredible beta. I cannot wait in 2 months to see what the full launch is going to look like. It has me very excited, to say the least. Now, the second part of this video is a little bit more controversial than I would like it to be, but I've seen kind of all over the internet people complaining about the beta early, which of course there's going to be, but a lot of it seems to be from bigger content creators that want to Call of Duty-fy the game of Battlefield. And what do I mean by that exactly? Well, there are streamers out there, guys like XQC and Nick Merckx and some of these other high-profile guys that are saying that the game is going to be dead within months without things like a ranked mode or competitive play, or without, of course, a battle royale mode. Even guys like XQC saying that the game will fail if there's no such things as battle passes or daily login rewards to keep people coming back. Heck, we even had one of the CEOs of Activision this past week, or rather an Activision higher-up, say that Call of Duty is just too big to fail, even though the numbers in the last couple years have reflected poorly on Call of Duty. Now, I personally do not think in any way, shape, or form that Battlefield 6 is going to get blown out of the water by Call of Duty Black Ops 7. I do believe in the opposite effect, but this is kind of a twofold thing. Number one, games aren't meant for everybody, right? Battlefield is a game in which you are trying to complete an objective. It has never been about who has the highest score in the lobby, but rather who can continue to win games, because that's what's going to gain you the most XP and the most levels and all around have the most fun. You're going in trying to create new narratives every time you play. Like I mentioned prior, every new match is a different story to tell, with new destruction environments, new enemies, and new teammates. It's never going to be the same game twice. If you're looking for something more fast-paced Twitch shootery, then you're looking for something like a Counter-Strike, a Call of Duty, an Apex Legends, a Valorant, but that's not what Battlefield has based itself off of. And yes, I do love a Battle Royale mode, that's no debate here, but that's not what Battlefield is, and even if the Battle Royale is a massive success or a massive failure, I do not think that's going to reflect what Battlefield is going to do numbers-wise. I also strongly believe that Call of Duty is not really in a position to make these kinds of claims about their game being too big to fail. Now, yes, people are going to buy the same games every year. The people who buy Call of Duty every year are the same people that buy FIFA and Madden and 2K. I understand that. And while Call of Duty will obviously make their sales back in droves, never you mind that, I do think that having genuine good competition in this space is going to be better for us as consumers. For too long, Battlefield has been in the shadow and not making good quality products, letting games like Call of Duty take over the AAA FPS arena shooter space. And until Battlefield comes out and proves Call of Duty wrong, which I think they will do with their Battlefield 6 installment, Call of Duty will continue to be able to put up stuff like this, and whatever this is. Thanks for watching. I'm D3 Structure Dude. Make sure you guys again like, comment, and subscribe, and leave it down below if you guys enjoyed the Battlefield 6 beta or not. And until next time, I'm D3. Peace.